Alright, thanks for coming back to the channel and welcome to Rush Hour from 1998. A very overrated action comedy movie. So the intro starts as we start out in Hong Kong as we see the cargo being moved onto the boat and more stuff being moved. So music composed by Lalo Schifrin and directed by Brett Ratner. And we see this guy peeping out from here, and here he comes out, and his name is Officer Inspector Lee, played by Jackie Chan, looking for a Juntao. Now pushes his guard to make a run for it, and now Lee making a run after the guy, and the police are here. And he was undercover and tells his walkie-talkie that Sang got away, who will come back later in the movie. Now onto the last day of the British rule, as we see these people celebrating and congratulating the consulate here on his relocation to the United States of America. So Consulate Han here, played by Zi Ma. And look who's here, Officer Inspector Lee, as he introduces him to Commander Thomas Griffin, played by Tom Wilkinson. And is to announce to everyone that Detective Officer Lee, or Detective Inspector Lee, or whatever he's called, and his task force have crushed the Gentile crime group and are super happy about it. So Lee walks out and sees his little girl, Su Young, the Consulate Han's daughter, will miss Lee, since she obviously is going to America too with her dad, Consulate Han. Oh, Lee has no idea yet as we make it to Los Angeles, California, late at night, and we now meet Detective James Carter of the LAPD, played by Chris Tucker, as he meets with Clive here, played by Chris Penn. Carter is obviously undercover and is here to buy C4. And here comes trouble. Now Clive shoots at the cops, even though Carter was telling him to take cover, and drives away Clive. And just in time shoots the car as Clive jumps out. So now Los Angeles, as the consulate says bye to his daughter and for the day, as she has to go to school, now sings into this song while she's sitting in the car. Now we turn here. And now we see Sang again, the one from that did escape in Hong Kong, played by Ken Leung, and now kidnaps Su Young.
No problem. Just rush hour.
But she fights it back and makes a run for it and still gets kidnapped as she dropped the necklace Lee gave her. And now with the Consulate Han getting ready for something as the FBI agents are here to see him. Agent Whitney, played by Rex Lynn, and Agent Russ, played by Mark Rolston. Back at the consulate's house, as Agent Russ tells him that the FBI agents will handle finding his daughter. But Han already has someone on the plane flown to Los Angeles that can help out the FBI. And now the LAPD police officers, as James Carter telling the officers how he caught Clive, the C4 expert. Now comes in Detective Johnson here, played by Elizabeth Pena, ruining the conversation. And she's pissed off Carter didn't ask for her help since she's his partner.
Johnson, look. First of all, if you want to go out on a date with me, you're going to have to wait on the list like every other woman.
And he tells her he works alone and always will, and is concerned that he may get suspended. And back at Han's home, as the two FBI agents are concerned that having a foreign inspector may be bad for them, and the only way to keep Han's associate away from here, who is actually Inspector Lee, to keep him away from his case, is to keep him distracted by someone from the LAPD. So we now see the LAPD police captain, William Deal, played by Philip Baker Hall, already getting a call about a so-called job suggested by Agent Russ.
Dan, I'm sending someone right over.
And quickly suggests someone that could be fit for it since, he was already saying he doesn't want the LAPD involved with the FBI. As Carter walks in to tell the captain what he did was a mistake, capturing Clive in the way he did, as the captain fakes it that Carter did well and gets confused. And now that the captain's got him talking, he now tells Carter about the mission that the FBI had to save a 10-year-old kidnapped girl. And Carter's all excited about it, and the captain is also excited that he made a fool out of him. And Carter has made it to the Consulate Han's house, and is just so excited that he's doing something for the FBI. And gets touchy with Agent Russ here and wants to talk to Carter outside.
Your particular assignment is considered G14 classified. Now, why don't you and I take...
And gets fooled as Carter now knows he has to look after a cop sent by the consulate, but he wants to find the kidnapped girl, Su Young, instead. And here he comes and wants to know if Lee can speak English, and Lee just plays stupid with Carter here and just plays along.
Alright, well you can forget about being mad then. Congratulations, Carter. Looks like you finally got yourself a partner.
As he drives back to LA with the captain and the detectives on the phone, laughing their asses off that Carter fell for something stupid here. The captain tells him if he drops his case, he's suspended for 2 months without pay. So this fake FBI job was all revenge so Carter can actually feel what it's like to have a partner on the job. And Lee's showing Carter who to see and the girl who did get kidnapped, and Carter's saying he will do this alone. And Carter saying all this is very questioning that Lee understood this. I mean, no questions there, Carter.
I'm gonna solve this case myself. That's right.
And drops Lee here at this movie theater and tells him to keep an eye on the John Wayne Hall of Fame stone. Or as Carter asks this guy here about the Michael Jackson house. And the guy says something about explosives instead being bought, but not unless for $45, and sees Lee is gone. And Carter has made it to the bus and now poses for pictures and Lee escaping again. This dad here that's in the RV driving it looks like the director Brett Ratner, and Carter grabs a motorcycle and chases Lee down, stops a taxi. The taxi driver here is played by Gene LaBelle, and he takes out his gun since he saw Carter pointing it at Lee. And what do you know?
Drop your guns. I'm just showing him how to take a gun from a suspect.
So yeah, Lee was faking about speaking English, no doubt. Carter's still pissed off, and the two drive off and spot Nat King Cole back on the building there. And Lee just wants to see Consulate Han right away, and Carter says he doesn't need his help. But Lee doesn't know yet the FBI is responsible for keeping Lee away from the consulate. And now messes with Carter's radio by playing the Beach Boys. And changes the radio station back as Carter takes Lee to this pool hall. And Carter immediately sees someone smoking a joint. And just a lot of mumbling, and now Bart is in here with these guys wearing red clothes. And Carter tells them to put their guns down, as they speak about a young Chinese girl's kidnapping, obviously Sue Young, asking Luke here, played by Clifton Powell, and he says he has no idea about a kidnapping, and tells Lee to go out, and we see this.
And the only reason why I ain't busted your ass because you my cousin. And you killed.
He's actually his cousin, well, what do you know? So Carter asks Luke, who is an infamous guy buying explosive like the guy said working outside the movie theater mentioned, and all he knows he's from Hong Kong, and now a scene I can't play. And Lee's actually good at defending himself here, and we ended off here. Now Carter's hungry, tells Lee he'll be right back, and fools him here, and cuffs his hand to the steering wheel. And Carter comes back and sees Lee has escaped again after bringing a burrito for him.
What are you doing?
You ain't the only one with quick hands, are you?
And Lee took a cab this time to the Consulate Han's mansion, as the FBI have traced someone outside. But they don't know that's Han's police contact, Inspector Lee. And yes, he came with the steering wheel, and these agents come out. And the Consulate Han has been alerted as well. And Lee barges in again, and the consulate tells the FBI agents that this is the man that he called from Hong Kong to help the FBI with.
Don't move! Lee!
Here comes Carter as he had his car towed here because there's no steering wheel. Inside the consulate's office, as Agent Russ here wants to talk to Carter again after the Consulate Han learning that he's helping Lee. There are just so many scenes I would love to play from this movie. It's just pure gold, but copyrights and sensitive stuff, Can't really play any of that stuff. But Carter does pick up a phone call and Sang again and tells him if it's really the FBI answering, but want $50 million for the release of Sue Young. Again with the gold dialogues of this movie, since I can't play too much of the movie. And Carter agrees with some more jokes and to make sure the money's delivered half an hour early. And Russ and Whitney have located the call from Sang, and Carter hiding behind the street light pole. He knows exactly what he's doing, watching Lee getting yelled at again by the two ego FBI agents warning them that this drop is too easy. Lee warning them that this drop is too easy.
Why were you hiding?
Hey, what you talking about? I wasn't hiding.
You were hiding.
Man, I bent down to tie my shoe and I looked up, you was...
And yeah, Lee was right, and Carter did exactly what I said, watching Lee getting yelled at, which is funny to him. And Lee spots Sang running off and chases him with Carter following the two, and Lee playing Spider-Man again as Carter tries to follow along. And comes out Sang battling Lee, and runs out again and throws the axe again, and Sang continues to escape. And breaks down the wooden bridge, and Sang escape escaping in his Lincoln. So next scene, Detective Johnson is wearing a bomb suit, defusing a bomb inside this bank safe. It wasn't really bomb defusing since it's a simulation for practice and now needs his partner's help here since he has something in his hand, looks like a metal injection. And Johnson tells Carter that this is a C4 remote.
Hey, and I'm sorry about spreading all those rumors on Christmas about us sleeping together. I'm sorry.
Think of pretty similar to the Naked Gun here, Yes, this movie is absolutely gold. I can't say that enough. It's absolutely phenomenal, okay? And now it's prison cell and has Bobby here, played by Barry Shabaka Henley. Carter wants to go see someone in that cell. Tells Bobby that Carter got him that job, being a corrections officer here. So Bobby lets him in for 5 minutes, and Carter and Lee are here to see Clive again, played by Chris Penn, the C4 guy from earlier. And Clive is too scared to touch the C4 remote, and now Lee shows him Soo Young's picture and has no idea who that is.
Where can I find him? Food Chow Restaurant, Chinatown.
And Clive tells Lee the guy who did buy the explosives, and his name is Jun Tao, who can be found at a local Chinese restaurant. Same guy that Lee mentioned after the job he did in Hong Kong, right before the consulate and Commander Thomas's dinner. And have made it to the restaurant, and now Lee trying to say yo. Meanwhile, money being counted as the two continue to be goofy, and the money was being counted at the consulate's mansion. And now the two break for food, and Carter complaining about the food. And the chef yells at Carter, there's no such thing as soul food being sold here. And Lee eating it makes Carter change his mind.
Baby back ribs and fries or something?
Chinese food, no soul food here.
My daddy saved 5 crackheads from a burning building by himself.
My daddy once caught a bullet with his bare hand.
As they eat, they wait, and Lee says he already knows Jun Tao from Hong Kong, and now the competition of the dads, since they were both cops as well. Lee's dad was a cop, and Carter's dad was also a cop. And Carter gives Lee his badge, and it won't work since Lee isn't 6'1", and tells him to act like a tourist. And Carter goes in posing as Jun Tao's lawyer, yelling at the waitress while Lee helping these other tourists, asking for directions. But he's got no idea, he's a tourist himself. And Carter getting food, telling to be taken back, and the waitress is now upstairs, and we see Sang again whispering that someone is here to see Jun Tao. And sees who it is actually, but so far no sign of Jun Tao here, and guess who's back?
Wait.
So the kidnapping was caused by the consulate Han's associate from Hong Kong, Commander Thomas Griffin. Wow, pathetic. So meanwhile, the consulate Han and the FBI agents are ready to deliver the money, and these waitresses pouring some drugs into the teapot for Lee. And now Lee gets the tea and spots something familiar around the waitress' neck. And it's the same necklace that he gifted Soo Young. And now the guard walks down to tell Carter that Jun Tao would like to speak to him. And now it's all the guards, including Sang, who are about to beat up Carter, but it gets goofy here. And now Lee goes behind a waiter and knocks him out and takes his uniform and goes in undercover. And Sang spots an FBI badge on James Carter, and here comes Lee to save the day.
Now wipe yourself off. You're bleeding.
Let me go.
And the customers are concerned about the window being destroyed as Lee and Carter escape from these guys, and the two escape into this alleyway. And here comes the FBI agent and our two beloved head agents, and wants Lee and Carter to come along back to Consulate Han's mansion. And these two are split up as Carter's now known that Lee's going back to Hong Kong, since the global consulate Han believes the FBI more than his trusted police inspector from Hong Kong. And now mention Jun Tao, and here comes Carter again, and now gets a call again from Sang as he now asks for $70 million now, since what happened at the Chinese restaurant, or I think Fu Chow or something like that.
我知道一定是军涛干的。军涛。
Now Lee is being escorted back to the LAX airport, while the FBI are still tracing the call, and Commander Thomas is back too, with a smug look on his face like he feels bad for the consulate. Now back at Johnson's house, and Carter calls Johnson because he's desperate for help since Soo Young is still held captive and wants her help now.
All right, one other thing.
Yeah?
What color panties you got on?
Man, this movie's awesome. It's fantastic. and Consulate Han getting a call back for further instructions for the rescue for his daughter. And at the airport with Carter posing as an airport worker and telling the flight attendant here to tell the captain that the plane is in danger, but this was meant to get Lee back. And Carter mentioning his dad died in traffic run over in broad daylight to prove a point that he doesn't care. That he doesn't care enough to get Soo Young back. And at Consulate Han's, as Commander Thomas giving further info on Juntao being one of the biggest crime lords in Hong Kong, and ending it here with his advice.
Prove me wrong.
My advice to you is pay the money.
And now this Chinese event for an opening for a museum in Los Angeles, as more money is now being checked to pay the $70 million, as instructed by Sang. You know, Thomas making eye contact with Sang right now. And here comes Carter, Johnson, and Lee undercover as the consulate greets everyone who is here. And this is the opening of the museum and starts to break down after he says the word children. Consulate Han does. And Carter recognizes Thomas from the restaurant since he saw the camera monitor. Since he saw him on the camera monitor. And Carter makes the announcement that the museum is now in danger and should run. And Lee spots the C4 remote. So far no sign of Juntao yet, and everything is now visible to Han that Thomas is the one behind the kidnapping. And my mistake, Juntao is actually Thomas Griffin. Commander Thomas Griffin's other name is Juntao. How did Lee not notice that at the dinner in Hong Kong? That he's the same clown called Juntao. Doesn't make any sense, but you know it's a movie, I'll let that slide. And Carter goes out to the van and knocks this guy out and finally sees Soo Young, who's wearing a bomb vest. And these guys are ready to blow up the museum, and comes crashing in Carter and has Soo Young with him, and she insists to press the button for the C4.
Blow everybody up!
Yeah, blow everybody up!
Push the goddamn button!
Push the goddamn button!
So Carter taught Soo Young well there with how he speaks, and now she's doing it, and now shootout, as Detective Johnson will defuse the bomb. You know how ironic, she was practicing defusing a bomb earlier. Comes in Commander Thomas shooting at all the agents and grabs the money, and Johnson did it as Lee carries the vest with him and a bunch of fighting since Lee tries to save all the artifacts in the museum. Well, at least he tried. Now it climbs up to Commander Thomas, whose other name is Juntao, and we bump into Sang again.
Wipe yourself off, man. You dead.
Now some more goofy scenes with Thomas, also known as Juntao, spots Lee and falls over holding onto him as the money's raining, and there goes Commander Thomas, or Juntao. And Carter trying to save Lee, and he does this.
What the hell you doing?
I just being polite.
Well, next time be polite to my nuts.
So now the movie's almost done, and Consulate Han owes Lee a lot, and here comes Soo Young and hits Lee in the nuts, and gives her necklace back, and everything's back to normal. Well, almost back to normal, as the two agents are here to promote Carter to FBI after all that bullshit.
Why don't y'all take that badge and shove it up your ass?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, shove that FBI badge up your asses. And funny how Carter is wearing the exact same blazer in the beginning for a suit, but in leather this time. I know, that's funny. That's the same thing. So how dumb, and Lee's also on the flight since the next movie will take place in Hong Kong. And the same assumption line.
You never told me you spoke Chinese.
I never told you I didn't. You assume I didn't.
And we ended here with the first Rush Hour movie from 1998, with Lee trying to perfect that song earlier, and some bloopers, which I will play afterwards. Fantastic movie. Check it out. Thanks for watching this walkthrough, and that's it from me. See you next time in Prisoners from 2013. Take care, see you soon, and watch away.
$50 million? So you think you got Kelsey Clinton? $50 million? So you think you got...
These 3 words. Chinese.
Lunch.
You need some lunch?
I got